All right, all right, all right. I want to say thank you, everyone who's going to be tuning in and watching this today. Um, we got another Global Grief Conference presenter of this year's second annual 2023 conference. And today we have Michelle Collins. She is here to talk about how she got into this work. She has a wonderful personality. Before we was recording, I'm telling you, man, there's something wrong with her already. There's something wrong with her already, okay? But no, she got my stomach over here hurting. She's been giving me a hard time. She's like my little sister from another mother. And she's amazing. She has a hell of a personality. So, Michelle, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Tony. And I just want to say I'm glad that our mother gave me the hair genes.
Here we go again. Here we go again. See, I don't even know how to take this anymore. She's been talking about my bald head and how I got a little Allen up here and nothing grows there. Man, she's been harassing me since we started talking. I don't even know how to feel about it no more. But I will say this. I do not feel bad about digging into her nap time. I don't. Okay?
Yes.
Put that out there.
You don't feel bad about being 2 hours late for our meeting today?
You know what? Why you got to put all my business out there like that? I thought we talked about that. I thought we was cool, man. I thought, you know, but no, honestly, that is my fault. We had some things come about and run over. So, you know what I'm saying? She could throw me under the bus on that one.
No problem. We got it together eventually.
Yes, we
Here
did.
we are.
Yes, we did. And we're doing this thing right now. So you're presenting at this year's conference.
Yes, I feel very honored.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you here. How did you get into this work?
I got into grief work after my husband died by suicide in 2016, not immediately after, but my journey to healing took me to a lot of places of learning and growth. And once I was a little ways into my journey, I realized that my experience and knowledge could help other people who are also grieving. And not just the people who are the primary mourners, like the spouse, the parent, the child, but also their supporters. Because one of the things I noticed that's kind of become my platform or a place of interest of mine is so many of the people that I work with in grief, when I'm moderating grief groups or working with private clients, have additional wounds from relationships that did not survive their grief.
Right, yes.
And people don't know how to support each other in grief, or how to be kind, or step aside, or step forward, or be with someone who's grieving. And so, and everybody has a different agenda, a different speed they want you to heal. You know, come back to whatever you were doing before your big loss. And the thing is, you don't go back. You're never the same person you were before a major loss. So when I started to really learn from an more of an educated point of view about grief, I realized there's such a big need out there for people to just gain some understanding and compassion about how hard it is to grieve, first of all, and how hard it is to be with a griever. It is really, really hard because you don't want to feel their pain. You don't want to be in that dark grief cave, is what I call it in my writing, with them. It is really, really hard. So friendships, relationships are ended because the griever feels disappointed that their supposed best friend can't support them. And if everyone could just have a little more compassion, like, well, my best friend can't be with me in grief, but that doesn't mean they can't be my friend in a year or 2 years when I've gone through this trauma. And I've written 2 books. One was specifically for supporters of people in grief, and to try to get them to understand that when they're saying, come out to a party, come be back the person you were before, it's like asking their friend with a broken leg to go hiking with them.
Oh
You,
man, I
you
love
just
that.
you need to be where they are, not where you want them to be.
Wow. Wow. And wow, I don't want to get too far into your story because I want to have you on the podcast before we do that.
It's okay. I can repeat myself over and over. I don't mind.
No, no worries at all. Man, I had so many questions. I almost forgot that we was doing the presenters. I was like, man, I want to dive right into that because so many times, even in my own personal experience, right? Experience the losses I've endured. I've had people walk away. I've had a handful of people that stayed around. Not even, well, yeah, just a handful of people. But all the rest of them just kind of took off. And for the longest time, I was, you know, I guess I didn't know how to feel about it. So that is, I love that. And at this year's conference, what are you going to be presenting on?
I'm going to be talking about how mindfulness can be a conduit to helping with grief. I don't believe you're ever fully healed.
Mm,
I don't want to say healing. I think of it as a healing journey, and that's how I talk about it. And mindfulness can be helpful not just during your healing journey from grief, but in every aspect of your life, from physical health, mental health, spiritual health, relationship health. And so I think it's such a valuable tool, but
mhm.
especially in grief, if you can learn some mindfulness tools to be with you throughout your journey, it's just really, really helpful to ease your suffering. So I'm going to talk about mindfulness itself, what it is, how it can help us live day to day, how it can help us in the most difficult times, the practice of mindfulness, and make even the most difficult times a little bit easier.
Okay. Now, for the audience that's going to be tuning in, what can they expect to take away from your presentation?
That's a great question. What I hope they take away is some tools. I'm going to be teaching some of the stuff that I use and that I use with clients. I use in my personal life
Mhm.
um, to just alleviate suffering. I'll give them what I'm hoping. What would be the ultimate would be when times are really hard. When maybe it's the grief that you've experienced that you're still recovering from, or maybe something new comes along, some new challenge comes along. You have a place to go
Mm.
that makes sense. It's like a safety net where you're like, okay, I am really upset right now. What do I do? So I'm hoping the what do I do tools will be what they take away.
Nice. I love that. And what day will you be presenting on?
I am presenting on Saturday morning.
And what time?
I'm going to say 10:30 with about 80% positivity because time zones are sometimes confusing. But I believe it's 10:30 Pacific.
Okay.
And
So
I would recommend if someone wanted to know exactly what time I was presenting Saturday morning to look at the calendar or the schedule of events, because I wouldn't want to say 10:30 and have it end up being like 10:30 Mountain Time. Or anyway,
well,
I'll be
no,
there. I'll
we'll
be
have a
there on
schedule coming
time.
out. Yeah, no, we'll have a schedule coming out for that so people know.
And
Yeah.
I'll figure out when that is, and I'll actually be there on time.
Well, with daylight saving times and everything, it kind of moved things around. I'm like, why would I don't even understand how why? I don't
Well,
know.
hopefully we're done with this after this year. Maybe Congress will move on it and we won't have to endure these time changes
Oh
anymore.
my God. It makes things so much more difficult than what it needs to be, right? Like I never understood why is there states that don't change and then there's states that do.
Well, I think those states got in ahead of time before it became a national thing, but I don't know. You'd have to. Well, Hawaii doesn't change, and look,
I
it
know.
looks like you're in Hawaii, looking at your background there. So
We're gonna go ahead and call it Hawaii. I was like, it's a tropical, but it does look like Hawaii.
could
Hmm.
be.
I see the clouds in the background and carrying on. No, that's I mean, we're gonna go with that, you know what I'm saying? Well, Colorado is starting to be a very beautiful place now that the sun is starting to shine, it's getting a lot warmer, you know, the snow is starting to melt across the mountains, and I love the view when I go out my door right here, I can look across and I can see everything. Right. So, you know, and it's been snowpacked all summer. Like we've exceeded our the amount that we normally would get. So, you know, definitely looking forward to the spring and summertime. And so until I can get that, I'm just kind of enjoying the background over here. I'm definitely enjoying the background. So how can people find you?
The best way to find me is through my website, inhabitjoy.com.
Mhm.
And on inhabitjoy.com, you can find some free meditations and you can sign up for a free consultation with me. I also have Instagram, Facebook. Facebook is Inhabit Joy. LinkedIn. I probably forgot something. YouTube. But the best way is through my website. I also have an Amazon author page. I have 5 books on there, 2 that just came out in January that are specifically about suicide loss survival.
Mhm.
And then I have 3 other books that I contributed a chapter to, and they're all really inspiring books about people overcoming difficult things. So all of them well worth your time if you like to read books.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Now, if you had some inspiring words to leave with the people, what would you tell them right now?
Inspiring words. Well, I think, I don't know how inspiring this is, but my main point of support for people is to just try to be kinder to yourself. We often make things harder on ourselves when something happens that's hard.
Mhm.
Then we immediately say, "Oh, I'm so stupid," or "Oh, I shouldn't have done that," or so maybe just deal with the thing that's hard and show yourself some compassion. You're not stupid, and you shouldn't have done whatever you're shoulding on yourself about because you didn't do it. So, I mean, you shouldn't have. You did exactly what you should have done. And maybe you're going to learn from this experience. And maybe if you're challenged again in your life, you'll do something different. But since that experience is in the past, maybe you could give yourself some compassion for it.
I love that. I love that. And with that being said, we have another presenter, another amazing presenter. She's going to be on Saturday, correct? And we will have the schedule coming out. So you guys stay tuned, look her up. Her links will be down below. So I'll have all that stuff in the links and everything. Check her out. Go and get her book, especially those of you who have experienced suicide loss and all the other books that she has going on out there, you know. Go check her out. Get yourself a book, get educated, set the date, write it down, and come in and have fun with us. Get educated, grab some pencils and paper. It's going to be a fun-filled weekend. And again, you know, save the date, April 28th to April 30th. We're going to be going from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. each day. And we have some amazing presenters. Check out Michelle's presentation, man. I'm telling you right now, if you guys like what you just heard, you're going to love it even more. She has an amazing personality. I promise you, we get off of here, I'm going to give her such a hard time. I don't even know why I'm going to do it. It's just because, you know, that's what big brothers do. And, and with that being said, you guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support and allowing us to support you. We love you. Keep your head up. And as always, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are out.
Thank you.